Hola so. That's number Tamala. Any Tashi delays, Shopat delay, Ningon delay, everybody. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Tamala Tashi delays, Shogi. Any that ring at you. Shooting the beijing the mat and the cine. Doya in any matun, Hona, any ngake. Savala mata jubala malaso balahomana, so what up. To the chicken, the china belt, the narrow cheese.
So as we continue on with our session of teachings on Precious Garland of the Supreme Path, we'll begin by making requests, prayers to the lineage gurus. Please join me in doing that.
Sanje dam je je ngo yere dan je goro jam su chap da ga den song ba mi be ban gon chen chin la ma dam be shap je du de ma mi ba la go be rab de ge be san za jin jap sun ju ju sun je la ba nan ze de so Ninje Jimbo to the Nime de Sunny Molam Jimbo of Jada, Bega Danga to the Sunmedo, Bimbo to Jiji Lang Sansa. Indo Jimbi, Paya Limande, Lord Jimbi, Jugun Denise. Tripa Jimbi, Chimdra Jiang, the Lota Jimbi, Shavlang Sansa. Nim to Jimbi, Godazi, Kapje Jimbi, Lamani Baranze, Tundu Jimbi, Rebe Jansinze, Reba Jimbi, Shavlang Sansa. Tipa Jimbi, and Joyong Se, Saja Jimbi, Dobang, the Jen, Chile Jimbo, Kadanyam Barada, Yingom Jimbi, Shavla, Sorwa, and Shivsan Kalan, Chirab Jankoroji, and the Bill, Donderzalina. Jarvatem Bagone Sanse Ba Kajurumbo Chelang Sai Partido Jin Chaware Kun Chabda Lama Kanma Ba Jakuru Kunji Junesi Bamjur Yadan Namjurma Tele Kunji Sibawan Chujo Biji Jamdala Namjur Teche Kupondo Don Dharme Tuji Jongwan Yarwa Kunji Techin Shige Jigde Duba Kari Takarawa Papyon Jigdi Wansu Dubaga Kamsun Dova Laman Gusan Pardin Zavala Marumboche Dagaji Orape Medi Jola Karin Chimbe Gone Jizonde Kuson Tujung Zade Sanje Gonda Nyamna Yang Garden Sanje Gom Ela Bengom Zavala Meshavla Solande Dakson Rovilona Chuse Kanda Sobji Dongenji Dina Deshilo Maraja Bagan Soda Tindir Timbe Chujen Chambe Simbalande Badam Jender Namoria Tamba Laike Da Lodan Jinge Tum Dadame Ginam Roa Genji Rake Jazamba Tamji Kid Dage Chudin Majun Roa Namkan Tadanya Besimjin Tamji Sije Dunhan Tadale Drate Namdor Tinje Deva Lana Meba Yang Taba Zoba Sanje Komparumbo Jitini Jene Jang Tabarasa Tade Chido Tambechu Samondini Tsujin de Sine Nyamse Lambar Gyo Nyambe Samba Sanchun Chodo Tukji Bada Dimbegone Sinchar.
O benevolent root guru, who is in essence all Buddhas of the past, present, and future, with great devotion I prostrate to you and go for refuge to you with my body, speech, and mind. Please grant your blessings to be cared for you by you inseparably in this lifetime and all of my future lives. Clean ground of pure ethical discipline, beautified by mountains of unfathomable samadhi, illuminating all things with wisdom light of the sun and moon, supreme Buddha who accomplishes the welfare of all. Please bestow virtue and goodness. Your mandala expanding throughout space in knowledge of all things, beautiful thousandfold light striking the lands of trainees, fully illuminating all of Buddha's teachings in their entirety. With devotion, I prostrate to the great jewel of the Kagyu. O glorious and precious root guru, please take seat of lotus at my heart. Caring for me in your great kindness, please grant attainments of body, speech, and mind, equal to all Buddhas in qualities of realization, yet surpassing all Buddhas in kindness to me. I pray at the feet of my root guru, O protector, please turn the minds of myself and all beings towards the Dharma. All you who have become disciples of the Sugatas, those gone to bliss, throughout the billions of worlds of the 10 directions, all of you who wish to hear the Dharma raining down here and now, may you come here. Namo, in languages of devas, nagas, and yakshas, languages of kumbhandas and human beings, in the sounds of whatever beings exists, in every language I shall teach the Dharma. Please listen well with the motivation of bodhicitta, thinking all mother sentient beings equal to the extent of space must by all means attain unexcelled eternal bliss of perfect complete Buddhahood. To accomplish this, I shall listen carefully without distraction to the Mahayana teachings being given here and put them into practice. Ani Rinpoche, Ani Kyana Kandi Chik Shuguya, Karma Ni Sums the Kishina Leka Tats Chago, the Jonga Kyana Shugin.
Karcha?
Leka Shenda Test Michiglet Kejashego, Karma Dishina Ni Sums la Kola Karma Shugo.
Tata.
Danda Jenny Tets Hagoma song tagging.
Oh. He's so funny. Okay.
Ani Rinpoche Danda Rang me. Danda Rang me.
Yinji le tende che lao konzo la. Kasi yang mele o na nga tende sin rogo yusi.
Lotus. Any hello everyone. That's the English speakers. I may have something I need to talk to someone about for a minute or two. I may have to abandon Rinpoche for just a second. I have a little business to take care of, but it's not right now, so it may come up in a moment, and
okay.
I'll turn it over to Rinpoche at that time.
Yeah. Any ta garis ta nga chun de de ya ta ta nga ju sa de ta ki xie sam ji de kare ore de ta nga cho dren yan cher de la any chutun chi ge tho la nga chu nyam jong se ani je da ni je Gampopa ka ta lam cho ri chin ching wa ani den de ki chu sa lab chin bo ani tu ba sam ba gong ba Beijing de sin ro ya ju te pe ma si ka wa zambo Sonam chimbo re is.
So today, to be able to continue on with our instructions on the jewel garland of the Supreme Path by the incomparable Gampopa. It's such an extremely blessed teaching that for all of us to have the opportunity to listen to it, to contemplate it, meditate on it, is very fortunate. We have a lot of merit, a lot of positive energy to be able to have this opportunity.
Ni tini di tani nga tsu namsha jun de chu se ya de kare imba de kechi ya de nga tsu kechin bo ri ja kandisi ne chu se ya de kare kechin bo imba de tambo nga tsu te jabjong le te samlang khona ya bo do si chu se ya de kare kechin bo imba chu se ya de den kare imba.
So it's important for us first to think about what is really the meaning of Dharma and what kind of importance does that have for us? How important is it?
Tibet we call Chu. What is it Dharma? What is it Chu? You know, this is very important. We have to know. It is so important for Tanga chu chu si du tane che tang ko ni yu chu tang kin chi tang yu chu tang za chi sa che ke tho ni de chi yong go do wa yu chu tang kin de ka re si du tane ni ngok pu den ba da lam ji den ba ni ge lam la ti ne Juju Tanza de Carri Sidutane, Kanza, Ranju, Tamal Nedeli, Numon Toson, Combola Chadelite, Any Juju Tanza de, Tankin de, Gopa Dembata Lamji Demba, the Chusia de Terry, Gopa Dembata Lamji Demba, de Ni, Nukinimbola Shene, Any Kanza, Trashiseata, Kanza, the Hendripsiak Minkin, Numon Tongaka Kangdeli Mate, any Zambus Hall Jujitaya. Nimba de Zambus Hall Jujitaya, the Nichi Gogoris.
So Dharma, we call it Chud in Tibetan, is that which brings about transformation. And so when we think about transformation, we can think about, what is it that does the transforming and what is it that's being transformed? And what is doing the transforming is true paths and cessations. The third and fourth are the Four Noble Truths. And that which is being transformed is the person who is inundated with the delusions, ignorance, aversion, attachment, jealousy, pride. This is the person filled with delusion is that which is transformed by the transforming agent, and that is the true paths and cessations.
The Nidutane, that Shrapnimbo Nakanani, Teatanga Tinkate, Parangate, Parasangate, Bodhi Soha, Seate, the Atatina Yinsene. Nimbo chita panza chi, nimbo tela, any tambichuse, panza tela, any kanza te jandone, any tendrisene, lanyamni sene kapsu, any rebeji de droguri, spenangachu inchikisena, good person, better person, and the best person, say under chikot, rebeji de andoya jutenichirin was.
So there is this great graded path or gradual path that's symbolized by the mantra of the Heart Sutra, Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. And that those stages of progress are what happens by applying this agent for transformation, the true paths and cessations, to the person who has the delusions. So it's by applying these direct antidotes of the path and cessations to the person that they then can develop the spiritual path.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Tate, Nachu Juchu Tang Gogun Duga Menduk, Sosurango, Chutewai, Nangachu, the Desa de Kawala Dendo, and in Kowal and Chamdeli, Kansa Chigla. The Nindutan, Juchu Tang Goda Mogoka Kicha Tawan in the Yumari. Maranto Mezambo Goyuri, Mep Yapo Goyuri, the Nindutane, Lamding Caps, Sheli Caps, Lamdin Yunti Jatra Mambo, Lamji de Basia de la Solam, Jolam, Tolam, Gomlam, Hopalam Siatang. Teatang Gatin Gati Parangati Parasangatin Body Citizen Lamdi Rela Chichu Mandawa Jatra Mambo Yudewachi. Chadi Yuri. Jumsin Kainsina Narang to Numong Loy Numong Sotela, Numong Panza Tela, Numongba, any Panza Tele, Nichi Jetong. Nida Jetong Tamba Yusi. What in the Shake you are? What in the Indutane, Pansatin, Tamibachi Indutane, Nimbo Telayan, Tamiba. Chetam ye, Kateke, Nimbo take a Pansa de Pangayang, Di Tsuge, Singing Ola, any Dewatang, Gawatang, any Mandawa, Katopara, the change you are. Then did you read it was?
So if we were to, look at the need for transformation, as long as we're someone who's bound in samsara, there's no question that we need that kind of transformation to become, a better person, through the practice of the path, as represented in the Heart Sutra mantra, Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha, and in the actuality of the passing through the paths, the 5 paths of accumulation, preparation, seeing, meditation, and no more learning. And each of these paths has many, many facets to it. When the multitude, the 84,000 varieties of the teachings are all meant as antidotes for the many 84,000 types of delusions that beings are subject to, and at each of those stages there are various types, various levels, various of those obstacles that are to be abandoned at each stage by each of those paths that are their antidotes.
그렇지. 어딘데 인도잖니. 나때 추세야 돼. 된다지. 당아주 다때 가르치기 요리시도 자니 나랑 좀 미게. 나랑 저거 강 통화대 렘발렌지 디지선랑. 나랑 저강 투바대 렘발렌지 디지선랑. 나랑 저라 강 따자 왕부 고 알라 여도 가른 태오나야 텔라 렘발렌지네 디지선랑네. 아니 고발은 참고 요리 다 도도시에도 왕보 공은 지수 판당네 따띠 돈나 빼 마시 깔레 망보잡 빼 깔레 망보잡 요리 당가지 야보지 삼로 땅와이나 삼산은 가서라 산지 좀 된데 하자 좋아 침보지 땅 요리 좋아 침보지 땅 요리 가래 좋아 땅 요리 지듯자네 추랑게 따뜻한 고발라 깔레 잡아 콜베솔라 준두세방 콜베솔라 깔레자바 나히 담배추고 솔라 준두 세와이나 추랑라 산제세야데 타릉볼라 데면도 없이 타 니월라 데야도 없이 타 니월은도 없어 근데 송유리 너희다니 내가 지삼로 따야다 개침보리 야시.
So our problem comes about by grasping things as truly existent, grasping the world around ourselves, ourselves, our bodies, all as truly existent, and believing that and proceeding accordingly. And that's what keeps us bound in cyclic existence. It's this incorrect grasping at the truth of what we experience. And so Buddha asks us a question, or puts a notion for us to consider, and says that we put so much energy into this, chasing the objects of our senses, that which comes into our sense faculties and our sense consciousness, and where has that gotten us? If we were to put our energy into the holy Dharma, enlightenment or awakening would be something that is very close to us, not far away.
야야. 애니들이지. 다때 애들에게 문도그 주산다 지시 당아주 무의지가 취되라 말은 배지는 저거 인시.
So now we'll continue on with the main subject matter of the teaching for today.
다 주비에라. 저 주변 상 좁지셔야 되리도 주변 상 좁지셔야 돼. 근데 추바지 인병 원을 쏜 것도 와. 이 감보파 코랑 벌지 손주지 당 갑대도 코랑 까담베 개위신이 침보지 인도잖아. 코랑 그 로마 많이 지시대 추바지 인도잖아. 추바지 그 뭐라 추바 양다바지 고유나 추바의 최대 림바지 고유래시. 어디 걸 쏜 거요? 다 나저 하고 거대.
So today we have this set of 18 hidden evils of practitioners. So this is addressing what it means for us to be really qualified Dharma practitioners as opposed to not.
Actually, Gampopa is from Tibet, Tibet master. His student is the monk, practitioner. That's why he say this, the thing 주시바데 많이 주변 걸리야. 라서 윈버데네 첸디 치탑드바네 주변창 초보시네 란드드바네 주변창 슌케라 득레멘젠바네 주변창 나와치라 란주 타머들르바네 주변창 수tum주는 네바 치와네 주변창 냠도장라 란주 마더바네 주변창 주거쇼는 며칠째 차당 마방와네 주변창 매추쇼네 사추세네 소남제 사와 르마타요네 주변 창 도고와니네 냠수 밀린바네 주변 창 냠린제 담자세네 르메츠바네 주변 창 야지 출리메제 주바 소메트바네 주변 창 도잡 흉린 영양 심좀 토레슈바네 주변 창 gebjoji nepa nepa several tukpaane chupen chang dangwa samos energy sirtunpaane chupen chang dala tabji tuji yinla tabji mepaane chupen chang dangwa yinla xiechi rangju chudan mentunpaane chupen chang kibar doi me chokpaada meda ro meshi paane chupen chang ji meteki do metapaane chupen chang dene chupen chang job ye do.
These are the 18 hidden evils of practitioners. To abide in solitude and accomplish greatness in this life is a hidden evil of practitioners. To lead a community and accomplish one's own desires is a hidden evil of practitioners. To be learned in Dharma and not avoid wrongdoing is a hidden evil of practitioners. To possess many instructions and leave one's mind ordinary is a hidden evil of practitioners. To have virtuous moral conduct and great desire is a hidden evil of practitioners. To have good experience and realization and an untamed mind is a hidden evil of practitioners. To enter the gate of Dharma and not abandon the attachment and aversion of human affairs is a hidden evil of practitioners. To abandon human affairs and cultivate divine Dharma, but subsequently return to farming is a hidden evil of practitioners. To understand the meaning and not practice it is a hidden evil of practitioners. To make a commitment to practice and not fulfill it is a hidden evil of practitioners. To have nothing to do other than Dharma and yet not ameliorate one's conduct is a hidden evil of practitioners. To worry about acquiring food and clothing, even though they arise spontaneously, is a hidden evil of practitioners. To devote the power arising from one's virtuous endeavors entirely to the healing of the sick and the prevention of sickness is a hidden evil of practitioners. To teach profound instructions in order to acquire food and wealth is a hidden evil of practitioners. To indirectly praise oneself and denigrate others is a hidden evil of practitioners. To present instructions to others while one's own mind is contrary to Dharma is a hidden evil of practitioners. To be unable to live in solitude and unaware of how to be with people is a hidden evil of practitioners. To be unable to support happiness and withstand suffering is a hidden evil of practitioners. Those are the 18 hidden evils of practitioners.
어때 많이 지슈대 차창대다 지난발에 인사말이 나래 인사리다. 당화근 초 러면 초 창라 걸왔다. 당화근 초 창토도 비바 송유리. 라메 송추 나오니 값스 드랭그 송추 용서 차상대 나집불 송송 삼바지가 초라해 원아이나. 다데 당화 창토를 비도 취야 취도 차디요리. 근데 드랭그 취대 차상대 나가 토르리야.
So Rinpoche says, I feel that all of these instructions today apply to me. And this is in general the way for us to listen to these teachings. When there are teachings that are given in which a master reveals to a trainee that they have a problem, they have something wrong or we could call bad or evil that's in them that they haven't noticed, that they haven't discovered, and the Lama's instructions, points that out to them and reveals that to them. This is said to be the supreme instruction, that which rocks our boat. You could say maybe, that instruction that the Guru gives, which reveals our hidden flaws, is the supreme of instructions. And when we receive it in that way, then that is supreme receiving of the teaching. So let's each of us try to develop this kind of attitude, that this instruction is being given directly to me when we find that there's something that reveals something in us that is uncomfortable for us to face.
Yeah, that's all. Lemon chot sang la golwa sia de ma joda. Lemon chot de jurbaten sang la golwa is. De ma so da.
So the supreme guru is that which reveals the hidden flaws.
Dangwa gan chot sang to de ba.
And the supreme instruction is that which strikes your hidden flaws.
Oh, then it is. 다되게 윈버데네 첸디 치탑드반의 주변 장송거리 다 윈발에 대야도 그바 가르치데 대유리시드잖아 남배 추냠린시야당 직딩 코르소 용소 쪽바 참마 르당네 직딩 추비에 용소 쪽바 참마 르당네 디치데 윈발에 그 유드잖아 윈발에 대 르윈발에 대네 생거토니 라니 치탑다 좌탑당 켄도 달라서 봤던 느낀 직딩 추비에 그 셈속 소마이나 아니 주변 상리 신데 노리 송고요리.
So to abide in solitude and accomplish greatness in this life is the hidden evil of practitioners. So why would a Dharma practitioner go into solitude? It would be to abandon worldly activities and to stop giving up on mundane concerns of gain and fame and so on. So if someone is to go into solitude and then keep their mind occupied with such mundane concerns, that would be completely mistaken, not good. And so this would be the first hidden evil of practitioner.
촉분세네라 안 되르바네 주변 상세. 촉분세야 된 디나니 촉세야 돼. 군바가 뿐보다 군바가 라친당. 휴소가 라마라소바 들려라 고고요리 디나니 촉분세야 돼. 라마당 아니 깁시당 켄보라소바게 아니 추소가 뿐보다 아니 더가나 이 군바가 뿐보세네. 아니 대값을 다 담배 추글람니. 다 담배 추운 고용라 띠네. 아니 심나 아니 라도 콘다 드바이나. 아니 주변 상례이지.
To lead a community and accomplish one's own desires is a hidden evil of practitioners. The leader being referred to is like the abbot, the monastery, teachers, the leaders, managers, and so on. And so for someone to reach that kind of position and then use it to accomplish their own desires, next hidden evil.
Any somebody que chunkela diglamen bas, chulang kenas, and hinani jetang arangsu kesia de tsilang keba da tulang keba ni yuri. tsilang keba de tubaka soni any pecha yorimbo da tani dang, then the mambo jiming sik the soni, young the pecha the so mambo chik the desine. That the chilang keba chawaina, tsilang kebari. Then the Indus and kebang omakan season the yard kesia. Kebang omakan kebate, Gareri Sidutani, Mayo Donan Kenan kebains. Sink Nelo young Tombani, Tawa the Tone, the Hakoswa in the Dini model and keba. Reason you chun kela sea the Tsilan Kena. Sit down the Lichik Taniel and Kene. The Lichike, the Keba deke, the Chude, Rangi Juk, Nimong Nimbol and Rokamewa in Duzane, and the Balanzang you Marawa. All the need to Zane, Kani Chu Keba, Chushi Keba Lasso, but the Lichik, Sik the Tanya Lasso, Bandacha Boshi, Shiva, the Lichik say, Tungumatola Lalila, and the Dipachang say they were in the Palamanzan Baina and the Chupan Sangri Sukuri.
To be learned in Dharma and not avoid wrongdoing is a hidden evil of practitioners. So when we speak about being learned in Dharma, having heard many teachings, listened to many teachings, studied a lot, we could talk about two types of learning. On one hand, there's the learning of the words, the conventions, the terms that are being used to explain Dharma. But on the other hand, true learning, true mastery is insight into the true nature of reality, understanding shunyata, understanding selflessness. And if someone learns a lot of words of Dharma but does not avoid harmful actions, then they're only learned in the words. They're not learned in the meaning, that which would actually counteract their involvement in negative actions.
이바데 애니 당화 치라라 안주 타마르들 리바네 주변 상시 같이 당그 손이 당화 치세야 된데 아니 치세야 돼 가리리 시디산에 주랑라 당화 그 주바 야보지 요나 양스게 요리 당화 치세야 되게 주랑라 당화다 라마 그 주바 하전 야보지 출라 요나 양 빼는 안다지 임바이나 까마까주 그 당화 그 주바 야보지 그토 그 주바 야보지 요리 근데 자네 당화 치라 주랑라 주바 야보지 요나 양 디 당화 그 주바 야보 주랑 그 줄라 요나 양 애니 추랑 그 안주대 추랑 그 안주대 타마르들 바세나 직디 타말레 독사직 근데신의 대대와이나 애니 주변 상대이 빼나 가장가 주 빼지자도 매직 잠소근 다음에 최직은 튀了 매직 꼼배 꼼색 시송와이나 최대게 코랑을 피는 거요라 코랑 그 마동네 춘장의 코랑 꼼색 시와도 지바리지 어디리
To possess many instructions and leave one's mind ordinary is a hidden evil of practitioners. So possessing many instructions refers to someone, say, like myself, who has the lineage of these instructions, is rich with personal and oral instructions. But if one were to have that, but leave one's mind in the ordinary, worldly, mundane condition, then this would be a hidden evil of practitioners. And so that would be like our previous example of staying beside a huge body of water like the ocean, but and not a good example for drinking, but to have a huge lake of water and not drink it and to die of thirst as we're beside a huge body of water. Thanks.
주 컴퓨터 인데는 양 쇼버지 주 컴퓨터 인데는 쇼버지 야유에 양 깨도 야보시라 멜리드 차송아에
시오인 렘프셰 얘네야 갸서 그런 사추로
말이 잠소 라고 말이 리버를 남는 되게 요리 거랑 잠소 쓰는 거 주랑 깨도 양 야보 멜리 차송아 거래 쇼버도 단데서 수tum zulan de ba chiwan de chuban changsi sutum zulan de ba chiwan de chuban changsi ya de yang de de jibari bena sei zunju ge toni eni ni ju dom ba sutum la so ba de su ko ni se ke yure ge wa chudu ge sutum simji de zi ge sutum la namba sum de wa sutum zun se ya de ge sei tan hang la lu ge zo ta eni ge long yin dong do ta la ma yin dong do ta nam jo ge toni sutum zun do se ne 추tum세야데 가레리시디 자네 추tum세야데 상스크리기 인지게 말다 야가 도나 실라스게 실라세야데 가레리 스르바세야데 가레리시디 자네 생그 유몽 독소 만 용송하게 달송하게 차들 추tum세게 요리 추tum세야데 르가다 차록당 시입장라 추tum세 시게 요 말이 추tum세야데 생그 유몽 제네 방송하게 대화라는 미바들라 추tum세게 요리 실라스게 요라 산스크리게 근데 자니 시 추tum 준도 가워지세 다차로 준 난그란도 국격세는 되바치와 아니 유몽 독성과 강들이 지에 와이나 아니데 노리 속에 요리 주변 상황이지
To have virtuous moral conduct and great desire is a hidden evil of practitioners. Karma nila
아, 저랑 용이 무슨 내 마시에 녹이다. 그렇게 돌아 마시에 녹이. 저랑 가들 렘나 렘리 와. 무슨 그거면
난데 가래 슈바네 야포 댄송
저랑 인지 돌 텐데 라고 컨트롤 봐.
So I need to take a couple of minutes to deal with some business here, and I'll be right back.
I going to keep the continuous, okay? Teaching. I use my Balkan English and the Tibetan. Yeah,
First,
translate. translate.
Lolos.
다들 그 냠도 장라랑주 마더와는 주변 상시. 단들라 당내 담보 부케 토니 만데 시작이다. 인지 토는 I don't know how to explain to the English. I just leave here when he come back. Maybe he can read it. 냠도 장라시. 그딴 거 토니 냠당 똑바서야 돼. 똑바도 냠을 띠네 용거 요리. 배나 메다 도와나지르와. 냠을 띠네 똑바 용거 요리 자네. 냠다 똑바니 다 냠 가능지 요네들라 똑바 용된 사람과 용된 강을 강참지. 배나 시내게 시내다 당아주 드르신데 고음의 값을 세네버 값을 대외 냠당 사르 냠당 못오버 냠 똑바 말이 때 디데살 못오버 냠텔라 띠네 똑바도 지은 거 요리. 배나 가능 좀매 야리 값을 담보 매 만발레 훈나 매 말보 마통을 훈나 도와훈 뭐진 통거도 와. 도와tin 데다라 띠네 매 빠투고요. 다 매렙사리다시. 가인시나 도와용거도 와시. 배디나이 냠잠보 매 도와나이 때라 띠네 아니 똑바 맨라오tin 바른 거 요리시. 근데 인도산에 냠도스야 되리. 근데 그 냠도 똑바 잠보 요데리. 아니 근데 찍라 아니 란주 마더와네. 시 직단항라 냠다 똑바 잠보 요데리. 너네 냠다 똑바 세야 똑바 공동 프리사와 이나 아니 란주 마더와도 용시야 요 말이. 똑바 세야 돼 돈이 그 따와다 상주 생게 누구 님보 차대 요리. 반사대 간에 시디살에 란주 마더와들이. 코란이 린지 문에근 가와리. 배나 린지 문에근 가와리 시나 캄바지 그 나콩나나 아니 로다지 와이나 나콩도 차상도 세는 거와. 나콩도 차상도 예는 거와. 또 이내양 또 냠잠보 짬나 시나 똑바 땅낭 짬게 누구 님보는 로트고요 말아와. 근데 인도 자네 냠 땅낭 땅 똑바 땅낭 짬나 잠보라 롬들이 tin데 간주 가사티 줄라 라주 마더와데 용시그리 근데 지 송아이나 아니 주변 상배이시 아니 듬바데게 추고슈네 무추지 차다 마방와네 주변 상시 야 추지 골레 쇼네 송들이 다 담배 추지 골레 쇼네 담배 추지 골레 쇼 담보지 가랑주 다 빼는데 요소 좀 봐서 송사 참아데 제디게 출렁지 다 락바르 라마타 하지 그걸 송대와리도와 당보지 가랑주 치는 치미 바랍드송 아니 곰발데 아니 추골레 쇼 아니 근데 지 세탈리 값은 무추 그 차당 방게요 말이지 다다당 가랑주 근데 차가도와 왜비지 초나나 그 대사의 곰바 타상나데 레가 레지당 끼자 시에지다 삼롱 코르지데 직디 무추 만아박 냠더니 탑동시네 다 등상 제초크나나 근데 지게도와 근데 지 세와이는 무추지 차당 마방나시 담보 추골레 쇼 침는 침미 바랍드송 곰발데 르라 따 차로 주 맹라만다 커 근데 지 세델리 값스 애니 무추지 차당 소네 무추지 차당시나 직디 춥지 말한 좀 콜 내가 드수골을 주도 세는 직디 차당 마방만은 주변 상시 Okay, I going to keep going to the Tibet, okay? When he come back, maybe he then 제바데 무추쇼네 라추세네 소남제사와 르마탱와네 주변 상시 무추쇼네 라추세네 단데이나네 매추당 라이추시네 이유리 제당 매추세야데 나랑주 먹게 쭈뽕게 추tum라소바 gebchu ku chubala timba de machu sekayura. Kainsina, Bög machu de la, be masi yabo yuri. May choose the Tanya Jaguar the Karishin the Givis Hall and Tumbachi Chade yuri. May choose a gadoa. Machutama Churuksadoa, Machutama Churukan and Magicho the Shai, Magicho Pong to Suko the Shagua. The day in the Tane, Machu Shones. That Machu Moma the Karis in the Tane, Naranzu Chetok and Yoda, Chetok and Tutu Lasso Bada. Jitin Chubjet and Colin Chimtab Lasso Bat, the Sukor. A little Suko Tama the Pa Bangness, Pa Shones. Flachu says, young Flachu says the Kondashibana, Machuta Flachu said, Flachu said, any Kondashibana, that chalo, Gumbala song, rub the song, chimney by rub the sona, any Flachu can call you la liberty. Any dele tubasi, sambasi, gombasi, to some gomsum say. Any chetu tomsum say, any tachi loxum some last about the Kanga Shuyate, that Flachu can call you, Flachu Gomari. Then did you get Flachu say, I don't think you say they were in a and Ellen Jictin young Machuganani Sonam Sideri, Jictin Sonam Rava, Sing Moyatang, Shinka Leata, that is called a Sonam Segura, Shinka Leatan, drop a lega, and Shink, you are the lega lasso, but the decatoni, Lumatanwane, the look, don't matter what in, tell a chan, tell a zin, tell a shine, the Jison down de Vaina, and it a chupin sangly. Any go body. Don't go on in a Yansu Million and Chupan tongues. Don't go on in a songori. That Jetanga Tony, Nekong the Shebana yielding, what you choose at the Dambo Tubase, Bardo Sambase, Tamagombase. Tupa caps a carry pink yuri city and the tupa shirap some chiki yura. Mama Churang Hako Yumara, to the carry pink yuri city, Tuli caps, Homa Hama or Aji Churang Hako yurita. Ale nge hako masong te. Tre lama kading ke nge hako song se ate tupi shirap chek yuri. Ta tina ni taro mambo chi yuri. Ta churang la sambe shirap chi na gombe shirap chi go na te churang ka leka ri ma to lama leka mari. Ta sambe shirap chi go ayi na churang ka samlo tang ne. Kharta lame song yali ti thola ngarang ka samlo tang ne. Ah, ta tendre chi ri ya. Oh, tendre chi ri ya. Samba chi ke ngi shi nye ya te la sambe shirap se. Samsung the gong ko thol ro ko yuri ta Samsung the jiba che ma gom le ya pharan de chane ani samba te nipa gong do pharan de chane gomba mai gomba long do chupa yin se ya de gom ji ngo gom ji le she ke yuri chane Samsung the gom ji ngo le ya chane ani gong ngo le chog de la gom se ke yuri tu bi shirap sambi shirap gom bi shirap se ke do wisdom of the listening and wisdom of contemplation, listening of meditation. Sakiyora that to be shirap, some be shirap, gombe shirap siade. Chigile chigrimbe in the Mayo doa. The Din is an Indian and it don't quite need the siate, chunke, tune, samba tange, coaching yilekin digio maris. Nyams mlin pasiate, and this Samsung jibat him a loy gombing all a yasong, there and bay in the churang gong tola turn Roma tavaina. Hashe tuba chimbo, Chishene, any Naja chimbo yoyatang. Hashe tuba chimbo, Chiyon, any Jina Chado Tao yoyatang. Tuba teke, Lana Masomaina, Numon Prezek Jin and Roguris. Any tuba de Yaboji Somain, Samba Solo song, Samba any gong solo, Chutang, gone to any Numon Imbola Somaina, Chutaka Roguris, somebody. The Inditane, don't go on in the Yansam Limban, Juban songs. And the Jubate. Nyamlinja Tamjasene, do me soap on the Juban songs. Nyamlinja Tamjasene. And the Layang Lama Tachu this go out, Tabung Juba the Mashi. Nyamlinja Tamjasenes. Up in the Lama Tahanda Jinga Soda Jina, Tambung chimney bar up the song. Gumbala de Sotarka Domba, Sansenka Domba, Sanhaka Domba Chatang the Shu. Tateleseke, Nyamlin Sene, Nyamlinja Tamjasia de Sorzang Hasonka Domba the Shu Security. The Tamjasene, Du Matok Pasea de la Kojipe Chimbori. Setu Lama Tawase, Seme Gumbala de Matavachene, and the Yanjang Koala Mancham Dogodoa. That is Jerumboche Tata, Korang, Lama Tahala Kapjunjan, Lama Tahala Sungurita. Du Matopane, Gumba de la Du Matone, and in Humana Yin Mazene, Mankoal and Chamjute, and it Chupan Sangri. That Jurange Maji Lasho Kore, Tamate Jurgo Mado.
So before we were on to have good experience and to have virtuous moral conduct and great desires, the hidden evil of practitioners. Rinpoche mentioned when we speak about moral conduct, there's three types. There's that of abandoning harmful actions or abandoning, breaking one's vows. Secondly, there's the moral conduct of gathering all virtuous, all positive practices. And thirdly, the moral conduct of benefiting sentient beings. And if one were to not, actually engage in that pure moral conduct, but and act with great desires, the hidden evil of practitioners. Rinpoche went on to have good experience and realization and an untamed mind. There's a hidden evil of practitioners. To enter the gate of Dharma and not abandon the attachment and aversion of human affairs. There's a hidden evil of practitioners. To abandon human affairs and cultivate divine Dharma, but subsequently return to farming is a hidden evil of practitioners. To understand the meaning and not practice it is a hidden evil of practitioners. To make a commitment to practice and not fulfill it is a hidden evil of practitioners.
Yeah. Lasso, actually, this is very clear. This is very easy to understand. You don't need too much to explain. But sometimes for me, this is very, very, very good Dharma. This is really very good Dharma to me. Sometimes we think, this is so easy. All the Lamas say same things. They always say impermanence, the samsara. But very hard to the practice, very hard to the connect to your heart. These verbs, this is Dharma, that kind of Dharma. I know people like the different, hearing the different. You see, this is actually very, very, very important to Dharma, very important to me. Remind me everything. Like my teacher, he says something the same thing. Don't do this, do this. Don't go this way. Yeah, actually, this is a very good teaching. Okay, now, Saju Chulimi, Juba so matapane. Oh, yeah, that you keep by the Inda Saba. Saju Chulimi, Juba so matapane, Chupan Sangs. Saju Chulimi, Juba so matapane, Chupan Sangs, ya take a carriage, think you receive the tani. Jetang Samju Lejula. Chule mato me jang si tangbo samju chule me pa la tama de thong khawang ni song jo thalpa lo to migi seji yom tindu ni pe mugu danda na la man chin no thuji ni de ze simju chudam de bar sinje lo song do a kontrol din thai saju chule me se ya de ke tangbo samju te chule me pa ji zo yo ri si pe na tangbo nang ba le shong de chi du kha she ke o dawa kha shi chi lo ta te ha chan ya bon do tisine 가래조사리 삼상다지 니마 가시질세 근데 유마 갈래 자야와 나지 근데시 인도고도와 추초를 장의 연구문도와 디나니 사주 출레 메장시 담보 사주 출레 메바 나지 지금도 없이 애니 강가리인데 자네 추대 뉴몽그 님볼로 로마터바네 주바 소마터 바스네 주바 소마터 바시나 주랑그 주바데 추세야데 뉴몽그 님볼로 로거리 뉴몽그 님볼로 소와이나 르다 나그 주바든 잠보 시와 덴바 장보 야랍 든지 로고요 주바 소마터 바시야데 주바 간종 만종세 맹르 주바 커 덜지 주바 많이 받던데 연구요리 송바리 진소아
Have nothing to do other than Dharma. and yet not ameliorate one's conduct is a hidden evil of practitioners. So this idea of having nothing to do other than Dharma, it relates to someone being very enthusiastic about some instructions, thinking, oh, these are so wonderful. Wow, must be nothing other than this. This is absolutely what I have to do. No, but then, that enthusiasm falling off and then not really applying it into one's life and conduct. Because when we actually practice Dharma, that's meant to counter the delusions. And when the delusions are countered, then our conduct, body and speech will also be transformed in ways that are positive. We'll be more calm, we'll act in peaceful, calm, subdued ways. And
야야, 난 돼서. 다 저런 돼서. 다 주인이 되게. 또접 출린 요양. 심손 톨라 쇼반에 취배 쇼 상세. 다디 또접 출린 요야세. 제당 버그 취라. 무저 거야 제당. 무 주인의 거야 제당. 야 흉의 거야. 무쇼 유스니 거야 망보요리. 다다 지난주 인지도 마저는데 무서 가래오나래 마도 슈르 가래요와도 저투고요 말. 당연 듯이 자도 무딘 가래요 바데 니나는 듯이 자도 쇼고 토니 되라. 가래 고양도. 제 감보바 코랑 벽 다화지 라마지 인도 자네 코랑 그 곰바데 깝데도 간들 랑야. 깝데도 다화기 약보 지게 매와. 다회치 초나는 추바 약보 매와 인도 자네. 아니 제름보 말다 제 감보바케. юм신 텔레티네. 아니 막 당원 창토도 가는 마 안드시는 송야죠. 어떤지 차대와 인도 자네 내 띠건데 시작해요.
To worry about acquiring food and clothing, even though they arise spontaneously, is a hidden evil practitioners. So, what Lord Gampopa is addressing here is problems that he saw, in the monks, in the practitioners. And so he was pointing out these things and getting to the root of the problem.
벽에 책들라 벽에 띵주들라 무띵당 슈띵당 주르거도니 고향 망보요리시다. 근데 시장킨 되게 무띵 다다 지난주 마 줄은데 무스 가래 오나데 마도 줄고 줄투요 말와. 간다지나 슈코토니 될 가래 고향도 갑때도 감보바 그바 가르치도 송야. 디치도 송.
So, there are explicit things that are said in teachings, but there are also implied meanings. And when we look at the words here and read them, we can get the explicit words of the meaning. But what I do in giving explanation is to reveal the hidden or the implicit meanings behind the words.
무띵이시나 가르세리 directed way.
The explicit, explicit, implicit.
아니 슈팅이시나 가래 슈팅이시나 슈그토니 거야.
Implied meaning, the implied or the indirect meaning.
그래서
the direct meaning and the indirect.
어접 슈르 소양 시다페나 매지 삼바시네 든드신데 다화지 내대오나 추랑기 잡려 주야지당 추랑가 칼라사야데 추랑 다화지 세네 라마치 대자와이나 치르 매종 쓰고 말해 라인게 추랑의 용거 요리지 다데 그 송거 요리 얘네 양때 그 맞춰마세네 생근 촐 심촌 촐을 쇼바네지 심촐세야 되게 생그 양 언등암 치르 다든지 양 망보지 고혼독 삼바 든지 송송와이나 근데 주변 창례지 다데 송거도다 슈딩을 대 거야도.
To worry about acquiring food and clothing, even though they arise spontaneously, is a hidden evil of practitioners. So this is the direct or the explicit meaning that's being expressed. And what's implied here is that, for a monk, they actually don't need to worry about their food and clothing. It's something that's provided for them. But even so, if they were to continue worrying about it, grasping after it, the food and clothing, then this would be a hidden evil of the practitioner.
그래서 다 죽선데 그 gebjeji 봐 내봐다 스소알 주관의 주변 상시 다 제당나랑 저 gebjeji 내봐데 인동시 거래다 인동시야로 왔는데 인동 그 차시지 차대 요리 gebjeji 내봐랑라치 다 냠당 락바다치 다 시지에 완다라서 바가 레비지 그 진내봐다치 요아이나 담배 추구 구방 어마데 인동시야들이 인그도 인으로 봐시야들이 인의 무딘라 텐데리테 슈크딘라 가르 고고 니나니 슈르 거야 요리 가르 송 요리 슈크 나니 가르 거야 시잖아 깨다 그 치드 느바데 랑그 깨다 그 치드 니 진라 뜨네 직tin 춥지 그 치드 어네 콜레테 로바치는 알레티 깨다 턱거리 네코 네바데 소트와 이는 알레 치지 뭐야 용거리 베샤테 그리 삼바치게 슈르 데 고고 네바당 시우소알라시 시우 소아시아 데 ngaran주 그 소르준라 단델 페바 만보이데 시우시아 데 뭐마 부직 종 지마 야자 부직 종 아니 숨바텔라 부직 종네 텔라 사스그리 스 덴드지게 치든 나가모다 뚜그 소라 시우 소아가 록솔 만보 사라와 아니 부가 당보 현도디 니바데 시 숨바데 시 덴드리인데 니 마창텔라 강한 만보테 텔라 시우 소시네 아니 텔라 샵딘시 룸로시아 요리 텔라 시우 소스키 요리 아니 네바 쪼바다 시비소와 라소발라 디 추랑kin 아까래서 그 진리 반다데 디응올라 옴네 쪽네 근데 세와이는 주변 상대시 가인시나 꾸롱 마다바 왕가 송거 요리 제땅 개와 용수 좀바 참아데 멀레 핀 토야다 멀레 록바시야리 꾸롱 마다바 왕긴 직디 춥제가 왕데 근데 지 송아이나 드기요 말이 슈팅레 데고고
To devote the power arising from one's virtuous endeavors entirely to the healing of the sick and the prevention of sickness is a hidden evil of practitioners. So these are the explicit words. The meaning behind it, what's implied here, is that if one does develop power, of healing, of ritual activities, of pacification, increase, power, control, and wrath, that these are meant to benefit beings. All such powers or development of abilities such as these would be for the benefit of beings. And in particular, there's one that's done for children, obstacles or hindrances to having children. Sometimes the family will have, a child die in childbirth, and then have that happen again and again. And it's said that there's some kind of sort of hex on their children, and practitioners will do rituals to alleviate, and so people may develop the ability to counter such difficult forces. But if it's not done with a good motivation, if in the back of their mind is, though, if I accomplish this healing, then I'll get a lot of offerings and I'll become very well known and famous. This would be, what's implied here about what the explicit words of the instructions.
라소 다 이바데게 마다 주지바데게 당화 사모스 에너지 스르든 바네 주변 상시 다 뜻을 걸 참마데 나라 철송 야주리자다 내 도도 시에데 데리자 가조 라마타 할라 철송 야주
To teach profound instructions in order to acquire food and wealth is a hidden evil of practitioners. Here again, this is something that's addressed to someone just like me, to lamas and monks.
당화 사모시다 등상된데 망보리 제땅 나주 추 남부 추대랑 추네 추세야데 이는 체와메 바당 이나 삼바던 인지의 그 토니 다 가르치고 드시네 이나 리미 그 토니 근데 나야리 마도 추 송르지 신의 추게니 추 베샤르지 추 놀르지 애니 추르 띠네 라니라 케다 딱발라서 봐 근데 지금 라마 소나 되게 매와 인도잖니 당화 삼모 세너지 스드 많이 시다 대상되는 마모도와 어때니가 말이소 말이
To teach profound instructions in order to acquire food and wealth is a hidden evil of practitioners. So there are many kinds of profound instructions that we have available to us. And if someone, a teacher, were to use this again as a way of advancing their own wealth, their food, their fame, this would be a hidden evil in that practitioner.
종아 되게 달라 탑지도 지히나 탑지 메반의 주변 창송 말이 달라 탑지 주셔야 돼 양무스 매와지다 탑그 차네 양 가시지게 양 뜨부 소르드 매바시 양 가시게 매부 소르드 뜨바시 안다지 대응어 발라 뜨바시게 용도도 시네 양마 매시다야다 양 가시지게 야 뜨라 동그 용도도 시네 대응어 말라 마매다야라서 탑그 토니 세계요리 달라 탑지 뜨징 송도 탑지 뜨셔야 되게 나랑지 무슨 가야 보이시네 게자 마시와 있네 꼬라답네 아니 탑시 그 토네 나랑라 뜨라다 얘나 어코페 독자리시는 무슨 메라 마당와 있네야 탑시 그 토네는 고마 메라다야 어떤 데 시반의 주변 상대의 숨발이
To indirectly praise oneself and denigrate others is a hidden evil of practitioners. So this is it's a very negative thing to do, but to say doing it indirectly means that the person is not saying directly, oh, I'm such a good person, or the other person is, these others are bad. They don't directly say that, but just things that they say that imply that kind of, without directly saying it, implying that they are much, better than others and that others are bad. This is the kind of activity that's being brought out here.
주룩되게 당화 인의 랑주 추담을 튼반의 주변 상. 다 당화 인의 당보 안다지는 당화 인의 시에요. 다 안다지를 숨고요다. 안다지라 배는 안다지 배자와이나. 딱바를 실을 추면을 시에요다. 딱바를 실을 추면을 시에도 아니 랑그 주드 추담 많더만은 주변 상례지. 다 배다지 나를 차자와이나다. 아니 가서 참말을 배자 쳐버려와. 주신신 참마게 ambo ranjun dirne ranju tirchali jila any yini yinjun dilikin gozo na any chusong goris sanje chomdin de ke chusong ni kapsa khoran ka tambe ne lok tawa tokpa jule chene demban thong ne ani tela mtho pa ka teba chimbo chi chene ale tangune tanen dendawo chi ke simchin ka hakko na yabon do gon any ma chusong ji tirichiri do ngaran chu tensang chushini nga zorse ba chamak 랑그 내놓고 되던 통구요 말에 내만 통구요 말에 소적이 하고 차와이나 아니 고람상 추세야 되지 시 좋초나지 요거도 근데 시드자네 담보란도 추그 자사신 아니 이동 코와 동네 쭉 써야지 이 요거도 담보란도 추그 자사신 써야 돼 담보 랑그 되는데 야보지 추랑은 나다 멜리지 추랑은 강아 짱는 멜리지 추랑 그 좋통 거지 추랑라 강아 멜리지 주탈이 지라 아니 몰라 로바시야당 몰라 좁터야 근데 용거리지 추랑도 맨이 찍바 차대와 있나 주 간듯이 로바시기 있으라 근데 용거리다 망다소아
Mamposhida or Rinpoche to present instructions to present instructions to others while one's own mind is contrary to Dharma is a hidden evil of practitioners. So again, this is directed towards instructors, teachers, like myself, but to all teachers, to be talking about the Dharma, explaining things about the Dharma, the truth of the Dharma, but within one's own mind, to not be doing that, to not be actually applying it in one's own mind is the hidden evil that's being pointed out here. When Buddha taught, it was out of, first of all, realizing the teachings, and then thinking, oh, this would be wonderful to teach to others. And as in that phrase I quoted before, that it's for the practitioners is to attain the Dharmakaya and then benefit beings. So it's once we have understood selflessness and the truth of the Dharma that we should begin teaching those.
다들이와 때 배나 며칠
And so, if we haven't subdued our own mind, how can we go about subduing the minds of others? Lotus.
Yeah. Keeper do macho batang matan ro mishipan the chipen changs. Rani keeper duli kapsaya de matavachi. Any main yamton rolly kapsaya kangante. And the song yuri. Keeper do macho pasina, wimbanda chilla, keeper de yamisi gonayang, and then yamni yapo masongasi. Any young main yamton roll at the Nissini party sevaina, telling Tuna medeli, kangante deli, or the Nichi song devaina, the chubaina, chuban sangri, song yuri.
The next hidden evil of practitioners that's pointed out is to be unable to live in solitude and unaware of how to be with people. So being unable to be in solitude and practice, but not only that, when one associates with others, and not being able to be harmonious with them and live in harmony. So this is another hidden evil of practitioners.
다 좁지되게 지 밑에 도 못반의 주변 창세리 나되게
They think to be unable to support happiness and withstand suffering is the hidden evil of practitioners.
주란에 대답도 요야 대 정도 실례 요아
나라 유이니야 간다랑
야야 다들라 가래송도 시등 가래센도 시등에 기법값은 총등시 받아 두법값은 그게된 봐서 난랑 토미 기독교성이야 기독 특별 지신 힘담이시
아니 representing deputy secretary
다 자고 말해 아니 마 락이다. This is my heart advice from Dharma Nectar. Whether we are jumping for joy or cry and pain. 말해, 넥소에 삼바.
딕소.
Doing all night and high and low. Whether 대대대 주랑 말라다 대. 말라.
야부 통금 ngất again. Let's go.
셜로카 쪽섬나데. 셜로카 쪽섬대. Yes,
Rachel, do you have the this book available to look at? Let's see. I'm looking for my documents. I don't have it up at the moment.
No, I have to dig for it as well, but I'll find it.
Konda Rinpoche ingat ngiamane tartik chena yagirawa.
No, that is that is lasso. Any that they can
that right raison. Raison Rinpoche.
쪽섬 나한테.
Cloud ne yongidu, chimpa ne yongidu. Chuksumbaro. Na puye grasom. Yeah, penguin do.
On the website under teachings. I started to go. Oh, good.
I found my Tibetan. Darn it. Where is it?
I have the English. I don't know.
Okay, now I've got it. I think I've got it. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, I'm coming to it. Okay. Whether we are jumping for joy or crying in pain during all highs and lows, whatever illusions of happiness or sadness arise, use them for your spiritual path. That is my heart advice.
Jobjebagi chi metiking dog matapasea take carating urisi ane Ngaransola Namcha Jude Singula Chu Chuganani Tipachi Bichu Oni da Samhingi Lasso Batipachi Bichu de Yuaina Ganga Kandichin Trewaina Ganga de la Donisi Tablakeba. The Digi Yongo Yuris. Oh, the need to an dinani, G metiking, do metapasi. This is Jiboji son, Alan Lamsanke, Dang Alate Shanson say and the Chimbota. And it is a country to an any Lamsan, many Chimatan, Alte Chonso Seada, and it Tana Jin Chung Chung Latin, and it's also Ranchi Jayake. Oh, the Nika Yogodoa, the need to an God the Nichi Seva in the Chupan Tanglis, you the Chumelik Dari, Sungayuri.
So on this 18th of the hidden evils, to be unable to support happiness and withstand suffering is a hidden evil of practitioners. When we have the methods of the Mahayana Dharma, of great compassion and bodhicitta, and insight into selflessness, this should be able to help us face whatever difficulties and challenges we meet in life. And if, on the other hand, we become overjoyed at the slightest bit of good fortune and totally desolate and crying and ready to commit suicide when things are difficult, this is a problem. This is a hidden evil in practitioner of not really applying those methods to deal with challenges and problems.
Lasso, Anita Teran Samjagi, any Chiran to rent to you, na.
So we'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or discussions that anyone would like to bring up?
I have a question if no one else has a question.
Please.
All right, there was one verse that was not clear to me from the words was the verse about, I mean, I have an assumption of what it means, but I don't like to assume that I know what it means. To abandon human affairs and cultivate divine dharma, but subsequently return to farming is a hidden evil of practitioners. I'm assuming that means if you become a robed monk and then you disrobe, but could that not also apply to, or does that apply? I just would like to hear explanation of that line, please.
Yeah, and Rinpoche did say that some of these things apply more to the Tibetan culture that Gampopa was addressing. Rinpoche, the Shingle, dan Sonam, de.
But check Kareri, check Andan Kareri, the Andan Kare.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gepa de inside.
Ale, Muchu Shon is like you say in the Sonam Jisavale Martin on the Jubatansi. Then the Dambo de la Muchu, take up the Churan Yomara, Damara Hako Yomara, take up the Churan Kabat and the Kitashia. Muchu Shon is secure, Muchu Short Seat in the Kari security city, Dambo Muchu Shorts in a Muchu Yoyawala secure. That's a Tahalama Tahana. Chimney barab the song say at the Muchu Pa Yogne, and it Lachu say Barawasi. Lachu says at the Muchu say at in getting cover Tromban on a day. And it Pa Yok, and it Lachu says at the Gumban on a Yayong. Muchu Shore, calling Chintap Tama Pang. Lachu say Gumban on a Yong. Tadong, Lachu say and a Gumban on a day Yonayang, Churanka Sonamka Sawala, Tene, Sonam Sena. Shinkaleya, any Ralong Soya, Jiting Kork Simching, the Dico Churang Sena, Mama Koran Koala, they are the Pakayorwa. The Churang Sena, the Tawara Hilatin, some Devaina, Luma Tonsina, the Lok Tom Martin, and this is Shinchati, so the same Roswaina, and it is Chupan Tang is
Basically, yes, Rachel. where to abandon human affairs is referring to someone who's taken ordination, like a monk, gone to the Dharma, cultivating the divine Dharma, practicing the Dharma in perhaps a monastic kind of setting, but then, and that's a case of leaving the householder's life and going into the ordination. And so if a practitioner is not able to do that, they're not actually doing that, even if they're in their mind, they're going back to all the mundane concerns or the life of a householder. And it would not just refer to farming, but to all the mundane concerns of a householder's life, would be inappropriate for someone who had, left that and taken ordination and gone into what was purportedly to be a practice of holy Dharma.
Could I, as a lay person, also take this to mean if I've moved my mind towards Dharma, and I, even in my daily activities of earning my living and eating my food and everything, if I have cultivated the practice of thinking about Dharma as I'm going to the grocery store, as I'm sending an email, as I'm doing whatever I'm doing, but then I just forget to do that and just make some food and some, could that also apply to me is it more about the mind? It's more about the mind always, isn't it?
And Rinpoche, morange nga mikya yana dil yang nga drograwa, pena nga leka che dutsani, ni kuno yapo, ni dampe churawa, ini andi jene, ni dil nga yan sigurwe.
Chitan di tinchu de nge chiran to lai ban di tinchu de Gampopa ke tahwa la kang chu ne bög lama tahwa chi la kap de du khorang ke desen khoyu la kanga kan de yu na yang de kang chu ne chung ten dun sen de song ya le ke dangwa ji cha de yori de dambo nga chu de ha ko ko yap jong de nga chu America me chi la nga de chi ke ma song ya le ke lam sa chi khatok cha yu ma ri kap de du ke bög khoyu la kanga kan de yu ba main gumba ta main lama ta main chupa ta ne to gumba dawo chi ma se ba chi to lama dawo chi ma se ba to chupa dawo chi ma cha wa indu cha ne ni kang zo ne de song ya ju a te dang bo ha ko che de ri dang bo de ni ba de da re cho churang ge da ke cha sia de ya bo ri so chia de sem ri pe ne churang khala sali kap sa yang sen la da bo ja chong khang ne ro li kap sa yang sen la da bo ja zo de gu long ri de wa 나는 좀 bejakenani kunhongde semte dakbo ja twaina leda nga ka sapju kan de chi sewaina zo de kunhong cha de sen le dakbo ja twaina ndiki risi.
Yes, Rachel, the first thing to be aware of is that this teaching that Gampopa is giving was addressed to monks, and so he was specifically addressing those with full ordination. And so just understand that what's being said explicitly is being addressed to them, and at the same time to apply the teachings for ourselves in as a lay person in Western society. That's completely correct what you're saying. That it's primarily in our mind. What's our intentions? What's our motivation as we engage in the different activities and work of our life? That's an entirely that's a good understanding of how to apply this.
라소 아니 바체 드와드네 사리 getang achu namju hakko goya chila ro samba tada chusia de tada thingma chila siwaninde lamsang hakko ndo golike samlong khoni go mare thingma chila shu thingma nila shu thingma sunla shu yang se tubasia de tube mongom basi tubala choshimi basi yang tuna tada tinju de thingma chila masang she ke yo marwa lamsang ka de se hakko gore tenge lamsang hakko ndo go thingma chigna ne nge hakko den to chi yong ndo go sang jobo de samlo ma tang wa chi de yang se de se de wa ina Any tuba mambo, Jisan, the tubi shirap the column penny duzani. Ah, Timaka, Tambu caps at the song, Nipo caps at the songs, Sumbo caps at the songs, Sambachike. Any Kale, Kale Sosu Semnati, should turn Juguri. Lamsan Kale Kabori, Samin Chinguajiga.
So we don't want to think that we understand the Dharma upon one hearing. We should try to listen over and over to the teachings. Never be satisfied, to be insatiable for hearing the teachings. And each time we hear them, to think about them, incorporate them, and develop more and more wisdom, insight from our studies, from our listening. And each time we hear the teachings, then it adds more, we develop a deeper understanding.
That's all. Any talent some yagin that ring H2. Any Lasso, any Pachetere Ajapiman Somo, you some Yaloshoni, any Tajaka Kangan Chatukumados, so today Ajapiman Somo Sabla. Aja Tring Rumaka Moranam Jichin Dogoyate Machisona.
I don't think she's here today, but we could.
I already thought, yes. Yeah, somebody there.
Right. She was suggesting that someone else could do the recitation since we're missing her today.
So, and I'll try my best. I'm not very good at it, and this is my first time. And Rinpoche, if I make a mistake, please forgive me. Rinpoche, ni kong ta xue yin. And it's how my lot say now na nga tap xie xue yin. And the pema samula tarim peme bating a la kokap now atila ni tsuji che xue yin. So, Panden zabe lama Rinpoche. Taki chiwu peme tenshu la katin chenpe kone jisung de kusong tuji ngu zando so. Om so te ranjam kyabne kya tsu chi la tante tenyi tenje luwa mepe tu ke para chi me tse yil ha tso ki tse wa yi shi chin jen tengere po gen gun chi le ka ki ka ma pe ka so to nga chak tso me nga chu Mome sobe lamda nyamto ki yunde zaka ki tere shaten so kange sanson to ji rangkam so le para tenji lungdo tambe chu she tubo to sam gombe du de ye sa ten king be chile ta chi sho Panden lame nambara thakpa tang keche samla lota miki shin chinze lepa tongwe me kuki lame chila semla jukpa shu. Panden lame nambara konta
Kyawa Kunti.
Kewa kundo yanta lama tan Jane shuji pela longje jin satan lamji yenden rapso ne lame komba nyurto pande lame komba nyurto sho konda konda very sorry.
We're ready for the English, Rachel. You can bring it up. Oh, glorious and precious root Guru, please take seat of lotus at my crown, caring for me in your great kindness. Please grant attainments of body, speech, and mind. Om Swasti. May the blessings of infinite seas of our places of refuge, the force of the two truths' infallible interdependence, and especially the hosts of deities of immortal well-being, now rain down the magnificent splendor of their wisdom and power of longevity. Lord of the dance of all victors, enlightened activity is Karmapa, your unquenchable thirst for the inner essence of his traditions, doctrines, of discourses, tantras, great seal, great perfection, and pith instructions, has brought the qualities of signs on the spiritual path, your experience and realizations to their full flowering. May your life be firm. May the wisdom mysteries of your body, speech, and mind be as perfectly firm as the Vajra's own immutable elements. May your gatherings of disciples who study and practice the sacred teachings of scripture and realization by listening, contemplation, and meditation cover the earth. May your activity reach its ultimate consummation. May I never for an instant develop wrong views of the glorious Guru's life and deeds, but with devotion seeing all they do as excellent. May the Guru's blessings enter my mind. In all lives, may I never be parted from qualified Gurus, enjoy glory of Dharma, and perfecting qualities of the paths and stages, quickly attain the state of the glorious Guru.
Dachin simchin tamche lo ju sun do war sinje labdo suru ju lamdo do war sinje labdo suru lam trba se war sinje labdo suru trba yi ji sun cha war sinje labdo so da so nam je ju dan tumba ye je dar samba yi yin trba da ne do ke so ba de ju ben zo nye war she war sinje labdo so 내가 소양 가진 다다신 뒤진 세당 변주를 지바다 주진 주배로다 신지도 삼배동 군주부 좌시쇼 라소 투치낭 참아 thank you everyone.